ProWrestlingSheet.com.
Welcome, everybody, to another edition of Collider Body Slam SmackDown Live recap. You have to add the live now, even though it's not live on the West Coast. It is live on the East Coast when Ryan gets to watch it, his East Coast feeds. But I have to watch it on tape, and I still enjoy it. This was an interesting SmackDown. You know, it's leading up Hell in a Cell just a few days away, and we'll talk about it. We'll break down the matches, see if it sets stuff up, and maybe we'll look at the Hell in a Cell card and throw in our quick predictions for those matches. Yeah, as you know, as you always know, if you watch the show, I am John Rocha, joined as always by the creator, CEO, CFO, COO, whatever those terms are of the Pro Wrestling Sheet, Ryan Satin. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm good. I didn't have to watch 34 minutes of Eva Marie, so I'm doing fine.
You know, to be honest with you, that for those of you who don't know what he's talking about, we posted a story on the site today where Eva Marie and her husband Jonathan weighed in on the Colin Kaepernick Nike
I was waiting what they had
campaign.
to say. Waiting for what they had to say.
That's what my girlfriend said when I texted her. She's like, the one person I've been waiting for, whose opinion I've been waiting for on this subject. When I saw, someone I follow tweeted named Danny, and I went and watched it, and I was like, I have to watch. Vinny, who's here now in the office of Collider, he's a wrestling fan.
Oh, cool.
And I told him about it when I walked in. He was like, oh boy, that's going to be a fun way to start off your morning, you know? And so I watched that, and but you know, it was interesting because her husband was fired up. Like she's a little more like understanding, but Jonathan is like. There's a point in the video where he stops and he goes like, "We have to change topics because I might start crying right now. I'm so fired up." And I was
so triggered.
He was
so triggered.
Very much so. But I mean, you know, to be completely honest with you, I understood his points.
Yeah,
I understood both their
Fair
points.
enough.
You know, as someone who was in the military, I feel like, you know, you're a better. They're talking about, you know, people they know were in the military. Right, but do you feel that way from the campaign? Like, where it kind of like feels like it's saying sacrifice everything or whatever. And he really, you know, he sacrificed money in
his
the NFL.
job.
His job.
Right. When we're talking about the Nike Kaepernick thing, they went on 34 minutes about it. I don't know if. Here's what I would say. I understand people's point of view from both sides. My personal opinion is I fought for people to have the right to say whatever they want to say. If Nike wants to come out with a campaign like this, that's their prerogative to come out with a campaign like this. People have a right to protest. I don't know about destroying your Nikes and burning. And to me, that's histrionics, and I don't think it's necessary. But I think being able to speak your piece about it is absolutely acceptable, and I have no problem with having a discourse about it.
Does it take? Did you take any offense to it though at all? Because like that.
No, because
their point in the video is that yes, everyone has the right to do this. That's why soldiers and law enforcement. That's why these people exist.
Yeah.
But that would be the ultimate sacrifice. And so they were like, to me, it's a slap in the face to all those people. But as someone who...
Yeah, but you have to understand it's Nike. It's not the government. Like Nike is, their job is to sell sneakers and to sell these kinds of things. And just do it is their slogan. So to me, they're a company. So my mind looks at it as, okay, this is a company promoting a certain thing, promoting an idea to sell shoes or to sell themselves to a community or whatever. And so to me, I didn't take it in a negative way. If this was the government putting out something officially that kind of undercuts the military, then that's a whole other message.
And also, you know, and I don't have any experience in that regard, but when I was listening to it, I was thinking to myself, well, you know, it would be weird if Nike was... If the face of their campaign was, you know, soldiers. Like, you know, they're a sporting company. They're for sports. So it makes sense that they have an athlete as the face of their company. So I was kind of like, well, that wouldn't make sense to have that in the
exactly.
the face of the campaign.
People brought up Pat Tillman, but Pat Tillman, if you read his biography, had a lot of issues with serving in the military and the way things were set up in the Army, and so like he had his own. So people were wrong on that when they initially reacted with the Pat Tillman things too. So there's a lot to explore. It's a more complex issue, and that's the thing that I always think is I think people forget they just want to run and get triggered and shoot off, but they don't want to look at the exact like all the things that went involved in this situation and how this all came about. And so to me, that's the thing at the end of the day is like, have you done all your research on it to understand why he's doing what he's doing, that it was a soldier who told him the smarter thing for him to do was to kneel, and those kinds. So you have to explore all of it. So there's more here than what you're seeing on the surface, and I respect people get triggered and blah, 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 but it's Nike. For God's sakes, it's Nike. It's a thing to sell, to promote themselves as a brand, and if you're looking at it as an actual statement of blah, 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 then you're really going too far.
Well, it's like how I felt today, and we're going to get to SmackDown in a minute, but it's like how I felt today when I saw an article on Kotaku about the Spider-Man video game and how you know, there should have been more of a deeper message behind police, the stuff, everything that's going on with the police in the world in the game because Spider-Man the comic book would deal with issues of that nature. And I was like, dude. It's a video game for children, Like, why? I'd be like mad if I saw that, and then they're like, and I was like, why are you injecting that in this video game that I'm playing for fun?
If I go see a Spike Lee movie, I know it's going to be politically and racial comments going to be made, and that's okay. That's what I know what I'm signing up for. If I play a PS4 video game, Spider-Man, I do not expect any kind of that kind of stuff. So,
or even if I'm playing Grand Theft Auto,
I
expect there to be things like that.
Certainly not.
But in a game about a child who's pretending to be a Spider-Man, I don't feel that way. Okay, so SmackDown.
Anyway,
though.
SmackDown.
Okay, I didn't enjoy the first hour. SmackDown.
Agreed.
But
except for the promos.
Except for the promos.
Right.
The second hour very much fixed everything. We had like 4 bad hours. James McKenna put this. We were talking via text today, and James McKenna kind of put it this way: where this week so far in WWE, we've had 4 bad hours of wrestling television, kind of, and 1 really good hour of it. And so,
and ironically, of course, it's SmackDown.
Yeah, and of course, like the last hour, you had to wait for the last of 5 hours to be the good hour that you finally get. They rewarded you for sticking with it the 5 hours.
Exactly. And the thing started off with Jeff Hardy delivering what was essentially a flaccid promo, and he didn't know what to do. It seemed like he was lost about what to do halfway through the promo, and he was just like, are you the delete? Are you not the delete? Are you this? Are you not doing this kind of stuff? And he kind of almost seemed like he forced it and then he was like, and I can't wait to get to Hell in a Cell. And it was like, okay, great, nice promo, I guess.
Well, the way he said it, that maybe he said like, I'm gonna go to hell.
Yeah.
To the show, everyone, and then like walked away. And it reminded me of when I'm filming these news hit videos that we do.
Oh yeah.
And sometimes I'm searching for the right segue word, like where I'll say like, let's discuss. And that'd be the thing. Yesterday when I couldn't say let's discuss because I was by myself doing the video, I sat there for like a minute and a half like, what word am I gonna say here? And finally Adam in the booth was like, how about you just say like, let's do this or something like that. And I was like, yeah, good call. But that was like Jeff Hardy there where he was like, he didn't really know exactly how to end that. Yeah. So he was like, and then we're going to hell to the show.
Right, because he's talking about his demons, how he's been through hell. Everyone was uncomfortable.
It was uncomfortable.
I think it laid the groundwork for the majority of the reaction from the audience in the rest of the show because they were like, what is this? I took my kids to watch wrestling. Like, have some fun with the promo. You're like talking about your personal demons.
Yeah, and also you only got a DUI like a year ago.
Yeah.
Like, not even that, I don't think. So maybe like don't bring up the fact that you've defeated your demons when like you're still dealing with those demons. Like, most people who struggle with addiction will never say they've defeated the demon. Right. It's a daily thing. It's a day by day thing. And I shouldn't say all, because not every person who struggles with addiction deals with the same way. But I know that's like the mentality they teach you is like day by day. You know, you haven't defeated the demon. So it was weird to hear him say that when we all know that he's still. I mean, he did a documentary about it just recently. You know.
Yeah, that was a little weird. And then of course Shinsuke came out. I actually didn't mind this match. I thought it was a decent match for what it was. I fully expected it to be over in 5 minutes. It clearly was not. And so it went on for a bit. Shinsuke, if nothing else coming out of this match, you're just like, what are we doing with him?
That was what I was going to say.
What are we doing with him?
That's exactly what I was going to say.
He's the champion!
Yeah, I was.
And you're using him to set up the others. That makes no sense.
I really felt like they could have used anybody else here.
Yeah.
That's upper in the card, like a Shelton Benjamin or something like that, where he could have had an entertaining match that would have been athletic, good competition. I didn't understand like where it's like you're not only reminding everyone that Shinsuke, your United States champion, isn't even on the pay-per-view card or in a feud right now, but he's also losing to someone who Jeff Hardy, while a legendary competitor in WWE, I didn't understand the point of putting him up against having him beat a champion at this point. Like it didn't really, unless Shinsuke is going to get involved in the Hell in a Cell match, and then they're going to lead back into those two feuding. But I didn't really make a lot of sense to me either.
Yeah, why use a champion to set up your rivalry between Hardy and Orton? Orton interfered, did what he did. I thought it was a good thing by Orton because he was pretty vicious about it, But why are you using? Because Shinsuke had nothing. As soon as Orton showed up, Shinsuke just rolled out of the ring and left. And it's like, what was it? Yeah, peace. I'm going back to Japan. Screw you guys.
He had no dog. He really had no dog in the fight. Yeah. He was just kind of like, okay, I'm here. Then Randy's there. And I guess he didn't lose. I forgot it was DQ.
No, it was DQ.
But he. Excuse me. Sorry about that.
Yeah,
but
all right.
But for the most part, he was about to lose.
Yeah,
it was
setting up.
It was setting up. I mean,
he was going for the swanton bomb.
He was about to lose, and so, and even so, like it didn't make the champion look strong or anything like that. It looked like he was about to lose, And I think that Shinsuke should be taken as a competitor that is someone that's hard to beat. He is a threat.
Yeah, and it's curious creative programming. That was 30 minutes.
Yeah.
It was 30 minutes of the show, dude.
Yeah.
It was insane.
Now, after Randy Orton came out and attacked, and then they had all that, now that that's all, they had the back and forth, and Jeff got the upper hand.
Yeah.
You mentioned maybe talking about some of the pay-per-view matches. Do you think, one, are you looking forward now that the whole setup is done, are you looking forward to that Hell in a Cell, and who do you think is going to win the match?
I am looking forward to it because I think I liked what Jeff showed me here against Shinsuke. I thought Jeff for the last few matches was kind of like going through the paces a little bit. And I'm not accusing him of being unprofessional. I just mean sometimes you do so many of these, you know the spots to hit. And there are other ones where you're really invested. It seemed like he was a little more invested in this match. So I see he's going to have a good match with Randy. I do think Randy wins. I think Randy destroys him in the end and does what he does.
You don't think we get one epic, swanton off the cell or something like that?
You think that's possible? Yeah, but then that ends the feud. Because then what does Randy do at that point if he challenged him, did all he did, and then he beat him anyway in a Hell in a Cell? It kind of settles the situation. If Randy wins, then it makes Jeff even angrier and pushes him to the edge.
Sure, we
after Randy.
Might get full brother Nero.
Full brother Nero, right? And that would make the most sense for me. And I don't know how Shinsuke plays into this. I would be surprised if he shows up, but you never know. It just seems like this is more the situation. Those two guys.
I wonder how. Because you'd think the swanton off the cell in a Hell in a Cell has to happen.
That would be great.
I mean, that's going to be his moment,
right?
Of his adult life in WWE. You think that's why he's wanted the Hell in a Cell this whole time. He's
Really?
gonna do he's gonna do something crazy.
He is gonna do something.
He's gonna do something crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a reason he's wanted to do the Hell in a Cell. It's the one thing he has said in interviews for a long time that he never got to do in his first, in his previous run.
Yeah.
That he wants to do is a Hell in a Cell match. We all know Jeff. Jeff likes to jump off of shit.
Yeah.
He's gonna jump off the Hell in a Cell.
Like that.
How do you do that though? I get that we've had. Because we've seen thrown off Hell in a Cell.
Yeah.
We've seen just elbow drop off a Hell in a Cell.
Right.
We've seen
we've seen people go through that.
But
man, we also saw Shane not in Hell in a Cell fall 70 feet on top of the Giant.
Yeah,
on top of the Big Show, rather.
That is the thing. Is the image of Jeff Hardy doing that off the Hell in a Cell cooler than the images we've seen of him diving off of things that are technically higher, like the Titantron and stuff like that?
Right. I don't know.
Regardless, it's going to be. I fear for his life because that is going to be. That Jeff's going to try to turn it out,
and nothing says he's going to hit it. Randy could roll out and he goes right onto the table.
I do wonder if they'll have to do like a Rikishi truck that pulls up to the ring. Remember Rikishi fell off or whatever.
Onto that. The truck, the dump truck of waste or whatever was down there.
Like hay
Sand
or something
or
like that.
Yeah, it was so ridiculous. It was a cop out. Take the bump.
But I wonder if they'll have to do something like that because otherwise, that's a tight window. Yeah. That's a tight little area spot you have to land on.
I do
that's
not
scary.
disagree with you, man.
But I agree. I think Randy Orton's going to win the match, especially the way this all turned out. Where, if going by wrestling logic, the guy who got the upper hand before the pay-per-view, is going to be the loser. So I'm guessing Randy Orton here.
Yeah. All right. Fair enough. We go to the AJ Styles and Samoa Joe. AJ Styles did his promo in an open arena. Interesting choice.
God, you're right. That lasted a long time. That
30 minutes.
This was the second segment.
They played through a whole commercial. The 15-minute commercial usually comes up. I mean, the commercials that come at the 15-minute mark played all through that match, and then they kept going with the match.
Wow. Yeah. That is crazy because I thought this happened so much later in the episode. AJ's his after-school special speech. It's crazy. I didn't realize that was the second one.
It's a good thing to call it after-school special.
Well, it felt like that, right?
Certainly, yeah.
It was like
with his knee up and his arm around.
In his jeans, tucked in T-shirt. Hey kids, let me tell you something. There's no hope with dope. That's like the vibe I got from AJ.
Those are the best
in this clip. But you know what? I make fun of it.
But it was a good promo.
It was not only a good promo. I honestly believe that AJ and Samoa Joe are both doing the best work of their WWE career right now.
Absolutely.
Both guys, are gonna kill it in the ring.
Yeah.
But the intensity we're getting, I honestly believe I love AJ Styles, right? But I do believe for almost his entire career, not just WWE, TNA, Impact, has kind of been one note AJ Styles. We've kind of always had the same attitude, very cool guy, laid back AJ Styles who can back his shit up with really cool wrestling, right? But I never felt like we've gotten a lot of instances of AJ Styles being intense.
Yeah.
Where he's mad and you're you've broken through this cool, calm exterior
Yeah.
that makes up AJ Styles. And for the first time, even though he was talking about how this isn't in his it's not in his in his makeup, in his DNA to like react to certain things.
Yeah.
And so I loved how intense he was, and same for Samoa Joe's thing later. But like, man, both of these guys are really hitting a note to where, like, I honestly, in my opinion, right now, and I love Braun Strowman, but everything going on with AJ Styles and Samoa Joe in the main event program right now on SmackDown is above and away 100,000 times more interesting, entertaining, compelling.
Yeah.
And something that wrestling fans, in my opinion, would want to watch way more than everything going on with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns, because right now everything going on with Braun Strowman and Roman Reigns feels like roles are opposite. Like what you want to see is the opposite role. Like you want to cheer for Braun Strowman, but he's being angled as the bad guy right now. And I feel like right now, like Samoa Joe is playing the perfect heel.
Yes, he is, man.
AJ Styles is playing like the perfect face. Dad, trying to defend his family and his wife. I love it. I think it's great. Everything about it is great right now.
Yeah, I was really surprised at how much I enjoyed Joe's. The whole reading the story, I thought it was such a conventional thing that we've seen before. But the way it worked and the imagery and everything, like, you're like, yeah, he's a bad guy, but apparently he's got some friends in a production truck because they cut this whole thing together for him and they threw it in the highlights at the right time as he was talking about stuff. So I was like, this is great. This is so good.
I think we as producers always think that way when we watch them. Like, I think if you've never produced anything like television or just like a video in general, you don't think that way. But anytime I ever watch anything in wrestling where like that, like where the person would have had to clearly coordinate with someone in the production truck, I always laugh at it. Like it always cracks me because I picture them like in like, for example, when they like on Raw when they'll have like funny photoshops on the screen that they're gonna do. I picture like that wrestler cutting those photoshops while on the road, like on their iMac, and then sending it to some production guy as opposed to like a PA having to do it behind the scenes. And so I always get a kick out of that. But that book. Everything about it made me laugh. The back, where it had like the thing about the author had Samoa Joe standing in it. The art, everything about it. The picture, the creepy ass picture at the end of him and Wendy and the title and the daughter. Oh my god, dude, it's so good right now. I am so excited for Joe versus AJ Styles.
It's stealing the show.
It's gonna steal the show.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure. It's not a Hell in a Cell match, right?
I don't think so.
It's not, right?
No, I think it's just a regular match.
Because they said like I might have in my sleep heard just wrong, or my sleepiness heard wrong. I thought they said in a Hell in a Cell, and I was like, or not at Hell in a Cell, and I was like, wait, this is in a Hell in a Cell, but maybe it's not. I don't think it is. If you didn't hear that, then I could be tripping.
I haven't heard it.
I don't think it is. I don't think it is.
All right, let's move on to the next thing because those were great promos by them. It certainly set it all up, and we're ready to go. Charlotte Flair versus Sonya Deville. I want to talk about this. Sonya did a nice job.
I had a feeling you were going to say this.
Sonya has been getting better, man. I like Sonya. I follow her on social media. I support her causes. I support her as becoming a wrestler. I think she's got the skills. I think she's got more skills than Mandy. Mandy is hot, and Mandy trades in on her body as well. She should. She's got the great looks. She's got skills as a wrestler as well. She knows how to work social media. Respect. That's the game now. You got to understand people work the game really well. Sonya is a little bit different in her game, but I respect her MMA training since she was 17 years old. The problem with her was that she wasn't selling the story within the match so well, and the transitions and the complexities of that. That's difficult to pick up and be good at it. And we see Ronda struggling with it, now. But Sonya, this is the best I've seen her do.
Do you think that Sonya was more believable than Ronda?
I do.
Interesting.
I do. Because I didn't see her pause in certain moments to find the emotion. I saw her roll through what was happening. Look, does she go big sometimes? Like, does she do that kind of? Yeah, but that's heel talk.
Yeah,
all
totally.
the heels. I mean, all the heels do that stuff. Carmella does that. Her mouth is massive.
Yeah,
she does the same thing.
While I was watching it, it's so funny. I thought to myself, I know Rocha's gonna say how much he likes Sonya Deville, and I was watching it thinking to myself, and I swear I had a thought, and I was thinking to myself like, I gotta think of things to say back, and I was because I just had this feeling that I was like, he always roasts like the other one, like iconic stuff that he's gonna say good things about man. He's gonna counteract it with talking about how much he likes Sonya.
Right.
But, and I, it's not that I disliked her.
Mm-hmm.
I just was watching it thinking like, I was watching it thinking like maybe if she. I think that right now my issue with it was mainly that it's similar to I think how I feel when I'm watching the B team, and not like in a bad way,
right.
of where I don't know if she's had the opportunity to get offense in enough to where I find it believable when she is getting it in. Like, especially against someone like Charlotte Flair, who is the top of the division. Yeah. I was surprised at how much offense she was given against her. And I get it. Like, it did help her. It did help her get more exposure, over a little bit more, even though she lost. So I get that, you know, but for some reason, something about this match didn't click for me on both ends.
Okay.
On both ends.
Enough.
Like, like Charlotte's moonsault, I wish she'd stop doing it. I say this every week.
Oh, you're right,
It
dude.
didn't land at all.
No, and the her putting her legs up, Charlotte gave it away by putting her arms out.
Yeah,
And
it was
so
like
you're just
real.
like, you saw it coming.
Stop doing the moonsault, you
Yeah.
know? But yeah, I don't know what it was. But I agree with you that I do think that Sonya does have huge upside. Yeah. I do think that there is huge potential there.
This could be a Becky Lynch situation, though, where she's trying to find that extra thing that's going to get over with the fans. Because I think a majority of the fans feel the way that you do, because when she came out, that crowd was dead.
Yeah.
Dead.
You know what it is? It reminds me of, and I don't know if I've said this in the past, but it reminds me of when Bull Dempsey got signed. It reminds me of when Kevin Owens got signed to NXT.
Gotcha.
And Bull Dempsey's gimmick was the last of a dying breed.
Right.
Like the last tough guy, indie wrestler, like Harley Race style. And then Kevin Owens came in, and it was like, oh no, well, now we got the actual guy we were trying to make you like. So we don't really need you as much in this role. So they made him like this like jokey fat guy character who was always eating candy bars until they eventually you know, released him. And with Sonya, I do kind of feel like her character was so Ronda Rousey influenced. You know, when she was doing the hair up, square up thing, the punching, you know, it was like tough MMA girl fighter. You know, that was her thing. And I feel like she needs a little bit of a change of character. As much as I like it, I think that's what I'm struggling with is that like, yeah, she is entertaining, but we have Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
Like, you're not Ronda Rousey.
Right, and you have Baszler down at NXT.
Yeah, we have Baszler down at NXT. So we have two like tough
Mm-hmm.
MMA influenced females, and I who already have a following in MMA.
Right.
So
right.
I just kind of feel like her doing the fake MMA thing, even though she has a background in MMA. But she was not like a successful story.
Right.
She wasn't like successful in MMA or anything like that. But she does have an MMA background, did it for a long
She was
time.
trained in it.
Trained in MMA. So I think that's where I struggle with it while watching it.
I can see that. I also think it's her personality. You know, sometimes you know when someone has that it. And Sonya doesn't quite have that it. Not because she's a good person, seems like a cool person, really cares about wrestling, really wants to be successful. But sometimes it just doesn't work, man. And it feels that way with Sonya because she's really not over with the fans. And I don't know if a change of character will do any good. You saw it with Bull Dempsey. I don't know. Eventually, if she changes, it might be the wrong change. That's the excuse to kick her out.
Totally.
And that was what worries me because I think she's a good talent.
Totally. Two things that I don't know, this just maybe just me, but when there was a few months ago where WWE did a photo gallery of wrestlers dressed up as ECW wrestlers.
Oh, right.
And they did a thing with her where she was Raven.
Yes.
And I was like, that is what we need to see from her. Like, she looked tough. She looked cool. And to be honest with you, I felt like never allowing Darren Young to talk about being gay on TV was such a mistake.
Agreed.
Especially when, a year after you release him, you have Finn Balor, who's not gay, wearing rainbow flags and talking about how much he supports the LGBTQ community. Right. Like, why wouldn't you have had Darren Young doing that? Yeah. Like, he was going to schools, he was talking to people about youth stuff, about it. Mm-hmm. Why wouldn't you just let him, bring that to television? Especially because, we hear all the time that there's less gimmicks these days and more of just like a wrestler's personality with the volume up. Right. That's what Drew McIntyre said in an interview recently. That's what wrestlers say all the time. When I look at Sonya in this current incarnation, it doesn't feel like her with the volume turned up. It feels like a character, that she's playing on television. And so I would like something that feels more authentic to her. Like, to me, Mandy doesn't feel like a character. Mandy feels more like her with the volume turned up. That's Mandy.
Absolutely Mandy.
I don't get that same vibe from her, like, put your hair up and square up, Sonya. I would like to see, her. I don't know. I just feel like they have a homosexual, a lesbian athlete on the roster right now. Right. Don't let it be like a Darren Young situation where after the fact that then she be, let her now. Like, that could help. That is a role in WWE that is not being filled right now. There are so many women of different backgrounds that their voice is being amplified right now. I really feel like Sonya should have hers amplified to that character. She doesn't need to be the lesbian character.
Right.
But it should be. I don't think it should be shied away from so that she can talk about what this has meant to her.
That. Yeah.
That's how I look at it. I don't know.
I think it's a great thing to say, Ryan. Absolutely. I'd love it if they kind of leaned into this a little bit more and embraced it and let her be her, right? When you follow her on social media, she does none of that. She doesn't put up tough quotes or do anything. She's a very sweet girl. She's just not she's not an outgoing personality like Mandy is. She is a different type, and she's very loving with her girlfriend, and you see that on the Instagram vid. So I like following her. She's a very positive person.
Me too.
So either turn her face in that way and make more of herself like that, or in my opinion, you double down on this and you bring in Becky, and that's the new Absolution. Becky, Mandy, and Sonya.
I like it.
That works.
A little edge to them.
Yeah, because, I mean, what we're going to talk about in just a second with Becky, she doesn't seem to be shying away from the heel thing at all.
No.
And I started to hear some more boos this time
than
I have before.
Me too.
And I liked that.
Me too.
Right, which we should just jump into it now.
And no one's talking. And everyone that shit on me when I said that, they're all not going to say anything now about how people are booing and how it's like actually entertaining having Mean Becky.
Yes, Mean Becky is great.
Mean Becky is great.
Becky with the mean hair. I'm all about it. I'm all about it. I like it. I mean, I really enjoyed this whole thing with her Charlotte taking the selfie. It was kind of telegraphed because Charlotte walked back down the ramp, but I was like, why is she walking back? Oh, shit. And then it happened, and it was great. Her with the black hair and her punching her. I didn't think Becky needed to say anything. I didn't like, it's been 2 years. I want my title. Don't say anything.
Yeah, I agree.
Just destroy her, walk away, smile, and walk in the back. So when she had that exchange in the back, that worked. When she's like, stopped her from talking, no questions, said, I told her I'm going to break her. I'm going to do it after I win the title. That was brilliant.
I thought the exact same thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed everything about the post-match stuff. I thought that even the little girls sold it well.
Oh, yeah.
They didn't even though they were plants, they sold it real well.
Yeah.
Not so much in the video that they put on WWE's Twitter where you could see the.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah, because you could see them kind of like giggling a little bit.
Right.
But on television, the angle that was on TV, they sold it really well, those kids. I actually, I was bummed that I had it spoiled for me because it did. I was watching. I saw it on Twitter beforehand,
right.
So.
You pulled a Gilmore. You like to spoil things before they happen.
Exactly,
I hear you. Yeah.
Exactly. So when I saw it, I was like, "Oh, I wish I hadn't known to see if it would have surprised me too."
Right.
But I really enjoyed it. I thought that whole segment. That's one of the matches. SmackDown has been the more entertaining show.
Absolutely.
There's no question right now.
Yeah.
And the matches I'm looking forward to the most at Hell in a Cell are the SmackDown matches, I think.
Agreed.
And I think Becky and Charlotte is, without question, one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most.
That may be 1A and 1B. Samoa Joe and AJ, and Becky and Charlotte.
And then for me, third is the Daniel Bryan, Brie versus Maryse and Miz. So it's all SmackDown that I'm most excited for right now.
Which we're getting to in a little bit. But first, let's talk about the Sheamus and Cesaro versus Rusev Day. Rusev Day versus New Day. Apparently, after this match, I was surprised. Why bring back the bar and have him job to the Rusev Day? I really hated that. I mean, because the bar is so good. The bar is so good now, and they've earned their stripes, and they've earned a little more respect from the creative team over there at WWE. I guess they're trying to make Rusev happen now. They've decided what direction to go in. But Aiden English, come on, man. I mean, seriously.
Yeah, I really felt the same way here. Like, first, we should give props to the return of Kramer Kingston.
Yes. Kramer's
back.
Yes.
I'm glad we got him.
Kingsman.
I also like Kingsman. Sorry.
Yeah.
I also like that Kramer and Kofi are now, it's known that they're different people. Like I like when they came back on commentary and they were like, that guy, he's a new hire here, but he has been killing it. We love that guy. Really good guy. That guy's killing it. He's going to be real good here. I was cracking up at all that. So I loved that. But yes, I felt the same way here is that Rusev Day was at its most hot a few months ago.
Yeah.
And
you're a bit late on this.
Yeah. And like the split made you realize that, and no offense to Aiden English whatsoever here, but the split, the time away from when the two split up, made you realize that Aiden English was not the integral part of that act.
No.
That it's Rusev who's the one Rusev and Lana, that act is what's over still. You know? That Aiden is a fun part of it sometimes, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's Rusev who is over.
Yeah.
And so we we got the singles push for Rusev for a brief period, and then the split up of Rusev Day. when they arguably should have had a tag team title run a few months ago.
Yeah.
Back even around WrestleMania, when the Bludgeon Brothers won the title,
Right.
which probably should have been more of a thing that went to Rusev Day. But then we come back, and I guess I'm excited about it, but at the same time, I just feel like it was a lost opportunity. Like, the moment has passed to make Rusev Day tag team champions.
Yeah.
They're not going to beat New Day. And why'd you keep the bar off of TV for 9 months or
Yeah.
whatever it was, or like 6 months or whatever, just to bring them back and not have them be the, tag team champions
Right.
or whatever. That's what I assume. That's why they were being kept off TV for so long. They were going to come back. They were going to beat New Day. New Day and Bar were going to feud for a while,
Right.
and then we were going to go from there. So it was a little confusing, but at the same time, I like Rusev Day getting a push.
Yeah.
I like Rusev getting a push.
Exactly. I couldn't tell who was pastier, English or Sheamus. Like, it was like a contest. I had to adjust the white levels on my TV. It was a little out of control. I was watching two ghosts fight. It was unsettling.
It was funny too because it's funny. James, who was doing the live tweeting last night, he pointed out how like Cesaro and Aiden English look so similar in their graphic matchups. Like when it was like New Day was they like really white dudes that are balding. That's
insane.
Very similar looks. I was like, I never noticed how similar they look.
Well, and also the setup sets up essentially two faces.
Yeah.
Because Rusev is essentially a face with Lana and with Aiden English, and New Day are definitely a face now. Why are you having two faces fight for the title? And you're going to have both Lana and Xavier Woods probably, or Kofi, outside the ring. How are they going to mess with Lana? What's that going to be about? Is that weird? Are they setting up New Day to implode? I don't know. I understand.
There's no way because New Day is too much money makers for
It's too
WWE.
over.
They're too over. There's no. I don't think they're getting split up or anything like that, or even imploding or like that. But yeah, I agree with you that it's like we were finally getting the New Day, the Rusev face push.
Yeah.
So I don't really like them maybe possibly reverting back to the heel mentality of the Rusev Day group because I think Rusev is getting cheered. They should lean into that like they've done with Becky Lynch, where they're trying to make her like a little bit of an anti-hero, even if we got some booze this week finally.
We did get some booze. We'll
Told you.
see. Yeah. I call it like I see it. Totally heard the booze. All right. Now, this is the most entertaining one of the match of the night, in my opinion. Andre Tzionalmas taking on R-Truth. Andre coming down, obviously, with Zelina, but R-Truth came down with Carmella. Are they turning Carmella face?
I was. If you didn't say it right there, I was gonna say it. When did Carmella become a face?
She was getting cheers.
Like, she's coming out, she's rapping,
Yes.
she's like acting like a good guy, she's like beating up Zelina, and you're like, wait, you've been like the main bad guy on the show for the past few months. Like, I was really confused about that.
Yeah. Plus, her attire was completely different. The leather, it was simple. It was a leather black and a white top. That's
not
it.
to be all flashy.
Not
like,
flashy, nothing like that. Yeah, no sneakers, no. I don't think she did the moonwalk thing.
I mean, like, the only thing I can say about it is last year during the mixed match challenge when she got paired up with New Day.
Yeah.
Or Big E. When she got paired up with Big E, she was a heel then as well.
Okay.
And I remember out of nowhere, she was just doing like funny bits
Face stuff.
with stuff with New Day. And then the second mixed match challenge over was like back to heel Carmella. Right. So maybe it's just because of the mixed match challenge thing, and they want to kind of push that team a little bit.
I liked it.
I like it.
They
too.
work well together, dude.
A lot of effort has been put into making Carmella the main heel on the show.
Absolutely.
So I get that they're going to maybe slot Becky Lynch into that position now. But at the same time, like, a lot of work was put into making people boo her. Like, and there's not that many, there's not that many women on the roster that elicit that much hate on SmackDown.
Right.
So I don't really want her to switch to a face yet. Like, we have the Iconics, yes, but I don't think that they're gonna fill the role that Carmella has. Right?
Yeah.
That she's like really good in what she does.
Yeah, I don't disagree with that. I think that was fascinating to me as I was watching this. I really enjoyed her being a face. I was surprised at how much I was enjoying it.
Well, did you remember when she was doing the stuff with New Day last year at all?
Yeah, of course.
Like, did you watch when they were doing those like training vignettes?
Yes.
They were so funny. She can be really funny, So,
but New Day always vacillates too.
True.
That's why I kind of let it go, because I was like, oh, New Day vacillates, whatever. So they both can work on that in that situation because they've done face and heel. But with this situation with R-Truth is rarely a heel. And dude, he fought a good match. When
He's having the comeback of 2018.
When my boy jumped into the air, grabbed Cien Almas by his neck with his legs and flipped him over like that, the Hurricane Run, I was like, wow.
Yep.
You still have that, like, he wasn't struggling to do it. He had great ups on that.
I really do
Nike
think
should put him in their commercials, for God's sakes.
just truth it.
Just truth it.
I honestly believe that he might have the comeback of 2018.
Certainly possible.
Like I've said, kind of gotten over R-Truth in the past.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that he's holding his own with someone like Andrade, who is young, spry, athletic as hell.
Comes from a luchador background. Yeah.
And R-Truth is still in there mixing it up with him after having surgery recently.
Yeah.
Fuck, man. Like, go R-Truth, dude. Go Truth, dude. Like, keep doing it.
Yeah. Almas wins this one by pinfall because of a distraction from Zelina and Carmella getting involved there. Dude, that move where they both lie on the she lies on the ring and he lies on the rope smiling, that's a genius move. I'm telling you, that's an awesome move.
I know that I plug Lillian Garcia's show pretty much once a week now, but but Zelina was on Lillian Garcia's podcast this week. That's actually, we put a story on the site this week about how The Rock's daughter is going to be trained to wrestle.
Oh, yeah.
Well, she is, excuse me, she is training to wrestle at the Performance Center. And you know, in the interview on Chasing Glory is where it kind of first got wind of it. Zelina talks about how she became close with the Rock, which I didn't know, that she became very close with the Rock and that he kind of helped with her career in the past few years.
That's great.
And how she, by proxy, has become close with his daughter, and then how the daughter has now started training at the Performance Center. And I was like, wait, what? The daughter's training at the Performance Center? So we'll talk about that topic on Wrestling Sheet Radio this week. That'll come out on Friday. I'll talk about that with the guys in more detail. But another thing in this interview that I thought you'll find interesting is that she says that the dual Tranquilo was her idea.
Oh.
So she says that even though, you know, Andrade had been doing it for years, that it was like a thing of his, that she mentioned it to him while they were traveling. Because she also mentioned in the interview that they're not dating. She was like, he's like like a brother to me. Yeah. We're super tight.
She's dating Alistair.
Yeah, well, that's not super known. But like... But anyways, she heavily implied it in this interview. But it was because she does talk about how like Alistair has been a big help to her.
I really like NXT.
but she said that she mentioned it to Andrade, and he said like, oh no, that won't work, we shouldn't do that. And she was like, no, I'm telling you, they'll love it. And he was like, no, I forget the wording, I forget the exact wording, something Spanish, but it was funny hearing like the way he said it to her. And then when they went to Japan recently, she was like, let's just try it in Japan. Like, no, it's a house show. Like, let's see what happens. Right. And he was like, okay, fine. We'll try it in Japan. And then when they did it, like, the place went crazy. And then they've now had to do it every match since because, like, the place loves it. And so she always rubs it in his face that, like, you said that wasn't going to be over, and I got it over. We got it over. Like, so it was pretty funny. It's a great interview, to be honest with you. She talks about her dad. Because her dad passed away in the Twin Towers. He was during 9/11.
That's why she posted about it on Instagram yesterday.
Yes,
that's right.
And so it's a lot about that, about her, dealing with social anxiety. It's honestly, really, really good interview. Lillian is my favorite wrestling interviewer right now. So go check that out. It's a good interview.
It's a good challenge. I want to challenge you, Lillian, at some point. All right, so it's fantastic stuff going on there. I enjoyed it. They get the roll up and they get the victory, but if nothing else, it certainly reaffirms R-Truth and it gives Cien Almas more to do. So that's nice at this point.
Agreed. Good use of television time.
Exactly. Then we get to Brie Bella versus Maryse. Came out, did her thing.
Wearing Daniel Bryan gear now.
Daniel Bryan gear, steps out into the ring, taking on. Maryse pretty much ran the whole match.
Yes,
so I don't know if there was, obviously maybe that's on purpose. Maybe the 5 months thing is for real. Like maybe she's got stuff. Hey, listen, let me tell you an honest thing about women who have babies. After they have babies, a lot loss of control of bowels and there's a lot of stuff going on. So even 5 months later, there's stuff that can happen. So to me, I'm not surprised that she kind of ran away from stuff. But there is a match this weekend, so there's only so far you can run in this kind of situation.
But I feel like they really did good with the antics they used. Like I don't think anyone wanted to watch them wrestle like a 10-minute technical match.
No, right.
I think
not
if
ahead
that
of
happened,
Hell in a Cell.
No,
right.
I think if that had happened, most fans would have groaned at it.
Yeah.
I think it was done perfectly. The way they played it up. I love Brie's like trying to like be like female Daniel Bryan thing now with the punching in the face and all that stuff. The mom's gonna knock you out, and I'm super into it. It was so cool seeing Maryse though come back too. Like we talked about it. Yeah, we talked about it. How great of a heel she is already. Oh, yeah. But it's been 7 years since we've seen Maryse wrestle a singles match, and it looked like she hadn't really been gone that long in there. She's such a natural at it. I forgot to mention it earlier. We didn't talk about it, but there was that promo earlier in the show.
Oh yeah.
With Maryse and Miz.
Right.
And I loved so much how Miz came in first. He was the one introduced first, and he said, "No, it's my wife who's wrestling tonight. She will be the one who is like getting the lead billing here." And they were like, "Okay, Maryse and Miz, and then she cut the promo, which I love. Those two are such a couple goals, even though they're heels. They're such a cool couple as real humans. Yeah. You're like, man, what a great couple, But in the world of wrestling, they're the best heels. They're so good. It's so easy to hate them. Yeah, and they're so good at it. And when you saw when Miz pulled Brie out of the ring and she landed pretty hard.
Did. On the back of her head.
Yeah. And even when Daniel got thrown out of the ring on top of her, she went down pretty hard.
Oh, yeah. She took the bumps.
Yeah, she took them. So, I loved it. This very much built the anticipation for that match so well. I thought they did such a good job of making you hate The Miz and Maryse, making you want to see Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella finally beat the crap out of them. Yeah. I'm very pumped for the match. Yeah, and I love this segment. How cool is it, with all the things that are changing in WWE with women and stuff like that, it's pretty rad to see two recent moms just in there looking like they haven't really missed a step at all. I mean, look at I know some people don't think the Bella Twins are the best wrestlers or whatever, but it was an entertaining main event put on by two women who just wasn't that babies. Props, dude. I can barely if I stubbed my toe, I wouldn't want to do a match.
Most dudes can't do a match after a bad bowel movement.
Yeah, exactly.
Give me a break with women having a child and rolling in.
Yeah.
So respect to them, absolutely. I enjoyed it for what it was. It set things up for this weekend. It was really well done, and the swings back and forth. Once things turned, the swings went back and forth for the next 3 or 4 minutes. So I like that. You didn't know who was going to get the edge at any point, and then finally it went the way it went. So I enjoyed that around.
Who wins that match?
I think because Daniel and Brie lost, Daniel lost last time. I think it's Brie and Daniel this time, but there'll be some kind of trickery,
shenanigans.
Yeah, there'll be shenanigans with Maryse and her 5 months pregnant thing. There'll be something where because they're gonna appeal to their good nature. Where Miz goes, no, she's hurt. She just had a baby 5 months ago. Stop. And they all oh yeah, okay, fair enough. And then boom, something's gonna happen. So it's gonna be some kind of thing like that. If they can throw a fake baby around, the sky's the limit, son.
Yep, I think the exact same thing. I think Miz and Maryse are taking it, but with shenanigans. For sure. They're going to keep these shenanigans going until finally Daniel gets his comeuppance at WrestleMania or something like that.
Yeah,
so
it's probably leading to WrestleMania, yes.
It's got to, I hope at least. I hope this is all a really long thing. That I'm super game with a really long feud to WrestleMania. Right. So,
okay. All right, so anyway, go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, what were you going to
say? So we're done with this with SmackDown, right?
Okay.
We're done covering it, right? I don't think there's much more to talk about here.
No.
Do you think if they do the WrestleMania, all the way to WrestleMania with Daniel Bryan, is there a title involved?
I would hope so. Now that Daniel Bryan's re-signed, now that we know he's officially signed for a multi-year contract, we covered that last week. Now that that's happened, to me, if they don't go that route, it would be insane. Yeah. It would be insane. Your Roman Reigns project is done.
Right.
You had your 4-year plan, whatever the fuck it was. It's done. We did it. Title's off Brock. Whatever. This is the marquee match. You saw WrestleMania 30. Daniel Bryan can be the face of a WrestleMania. This is a feud that you guys have built for 10 years. 10 years. There's so much history behind it. And additionally, The Miz has proven that he can be the champion going into WrestleMania and it be it be something that people will tune in for. So, to be honest with you, I think it makes so much sense for this to be one of the matches going to that is a marquee match. I'm sorry to AJ Styles. AJ Styles has been a champion for a long time now in WWE, though. Yeah. similar to Brock. Like him
Yeah.
and Brock have like really had really long title reigns.
Yeah.
I'm okay with AJ not being champion heading into WrestleMania
Yeah.
and us getting, Miz beating AJ Styles, ending AJ Styles' long reign.
Yeah.
Because I think Miz has deserved it at this point.
Sure.
He has been one of the best talkers, one of the most entertaining acts on the roster. He 100% deserves his chance to be champion again.
Agreed.
And Daniel Bryan deserves his chance to win the real Royal Rumble finally. We need to finally, like, it's like this thing where, like, in Back to the Future, where like they say, like, if you go back and then like you can like if you mess something up, you're going on a new timeline.
Yeah.
And I feel like that Royal Rumble where Daniel Bryan didn't win, Daniel Bryan wasn't even in it.
Yeah.
Took us on this like different course, this different timeline.
Right.
We got to get back to like the timeline we were on where the audience doesn't want to always hijack the show if it doesn't go their way.
Yeah.
And I feel like giving back to them and be like, look, no, this is what you wanted all along was Daniel Bryan to win a Royal Rumble. We're going to let Daniel Bryan win a Royal Rumble and go to WrestleMania and win the title. It's what you wanted.
Here
and
it is.
I feel like it would like mend that relationship between the fans and WWE again and be like, no, we will give you what you want finally. It was been 4 years, but we're going to do it. And look, I know Roman's been entertaining. I'm not, no diss on Roman. I'm not saying that it's like we're in the darkest timeline or anything like that. But I'm just saying that I think that it would show some like, hey, we care about what you want to see.
Yeah.
This is something you've wanted to see that we've built for 10 years. And I really, really hope that that's what the title and Royal Rumble are built around.
I like that. It's like Jack and Lost. We got to go back. We got to go back.
We got to go back.
We'll see what happens. Let's run through these matches real quick. We're running out of time, Ryan.
I miss Lost.
I know. Listen, I go back and watch The Constant all the time. That's still my favorite
best episode ever.
All right, SmackDown Tag Team Championship, New Day versus Rusev Day. You think New Day, right?
Yeah.
Me too. I feel the same way. Dolph Ziggler and Drew McIntyre versus Seth Rollins and Dean Ambrose.
I'm going Dolph and Drew still.
I go Dolph and Drew as well. Daniel Bryan and Brie Bella versus The Miz and Maryse.
I'm going Miz and Maryse. Miz and Maryse via shenanigans.
Yeah, agreed. Jeff Hardy versus Randy Orton. I think we both chimed in on this, right?
Yeah, I think Randy Orton.
Randy, yeah.
Yeah.
Raw Women's Championship, Ronda Rousey versus Alexa Bliss.
Oh, Ronda Rousey.
I say Alexa Bliss.
What did you smoke before we started recording?
They damaged
this?
her ribs. She's not 100%. SmackDown Women's Champion Charlotte Flair versus Becky Lynch.
Becky Lynch.
Yeah, Becky. It's got to go to Becky. AJ Styles versus Samoa Joe. Oh, this is interesting.
It's got to be AJ Styles.
You think so?
Yeah. As much as I hate that I'm like at AJ Styles winning, but Samoa Joe's been so good. Like I almost want him to win. God, imagine if it's opposite. What if Samoa Joe wins the title?
That's what I'm thinking.
Daniel beats Samoa Joe for the title. Oh.
That's what I think it's going to be.
Miz wins the Royal Rumble, and we have that.
Yep.
But I like Daniel Bryan underdog story, but that does sound cool.
They were in the darkest timeline at that point. I think actually Samoa Joe wins this. I think Samoa and
he
I
wins
think
title?
Yes, and I think it's what drives AJ insane. And him driving and saying maybe his wife steps in, Wendy, and says you need to take a break, and that's how they take away AJ for a little while they focus on Bryan and Miz.
As much as I agree with you, and I think that would be the best storyline wise, I just look at 2K coming out and like he's on the cover of 2K next month with the title. He's got to hold the title.
You're right. Good point. I always forget that. I just
look
purely at
There's
things.
always you think of it purely booking standpoint sometimes,
I do.
but you think about like they can't not have AJ Styles as champion. Like it's already going to be.
Yeah.
There's already people with wildly different looks in the game than they do. It happens every year. Like Dean Ambrose is going to look completely different. People are going to look very different in the game than they are on TV. You got to have at least the champion be the champion who's on the cover. So I think he's got to win.
Speaking of a shout out to Lana on Twitter who pointed out, I don't look anything like this, and put a picture of herself from WWE. But then people responded and said, oh no, you've worn this before. And she's like, that's fan art. And then other people went deeper and found stuff that she has worn. It's similar, but the hairstyle, never.
It was like that Tanya Harding Photoshop thing.
That was a Photoshop.
That cracked me up. I was like, wow, they just took off from a photo shoot that she did that looks nothing like. But to be fair, that gear was cool that she wearing that.
I agree. Last match is Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman, Hell in a Cell.
Roman.
Yeah, you think Roman, huh?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're not going to pull the I
mean, is this the official cash-in, though?
It's funny. I was just thinking that is the official cash-in.
Right?
Do you add Braun Strowman to the list of
this doesn't count
cash-ins?
Yeah, it doesn't count. I feel like
no, it counts.
Does it count?
Yeah. It would just been like when
It's not
Kennedy,
like he leapt the line.
like in theory, he could have cashed in before.
Yes.
But this is technically his cash in, I think.
All right.
Which is a very lackluster cash in.
Yeah, it's a weird cash in.
Who was the other Money in the Bank holder this year?
Oh, God, I don't
On
remember.
the female side. Who was on the female side?
Wasn't it Alexa? She won the
Oh, and then she won it back
Yeah.
that night.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, she took it out
God,
on
they
HIAC.
got rid of the Money in the Banks quick this year. They didn't really leave any.
I think it's a dying convention, to be honest with you. It
I'm
feels
with
like a
you in
dying
that
gimmick.
regard.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like people don't like it because people like to earn stuff now.
You know, my problem with it, and I know we got to end it here, is I think the allure of Money in the Bank ended when they took it off of WrestleMania. I liked that you got you won this at WrestleMania, and you had until the next WrestleMania to cash in that opportunity. I liked that concept.
Right.
I thought the ladder match added a fun element for all the guys on the up to have a cool match in the ladder match. So for me, it always lost its allure once it became its own event. And more so when they added two of them.
Yeah, and I also think it was dangerous to have your former champion like Alexa Bliss, who you know they love, win it, because then you know she's going to cash in and win it at some point.
Yeah.
And Strowman, who doesn't even need it.
Yeah.
Even though I predicted that, he doesn't even need it. But so you took away the X factor of whoever's going to cash it in and when. You just never know, that kind of thing. So, yeah, that happens. All right, well, that's our Collider Body Slam SmackDown Live recap, and also our quick thoughts on who we think are going to win the Hell in the Cell matches. Ryan, do you want to tell him everything you need to tell him here?
Yeah, only because you just said it right there. In the description, I have to struggle with if I write SmackDown or SmackDown Live.
Oh, yeah.
Is SmackDown Live too long? Should I just say SmackDown?
SD Live works. Oh, sorry.
That's what I've been doing. And then
yeah.
Dennis was like, would people say SD Live? And I'm like, I think that's what people would say. That's
it's
like
a hashtag.
That's okay. We're going with SD Live then still. You can find me. I'm at Ryan Satin on all social media. You can find the website, prowrestlingsheet.com. It's at Wrestling Sheet, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook. If you're listening to the audio of this in the podcast feed, go check out the video. It's youtube.com/c/wrestling sheet. All these recaps that Rocha and I do are all on video as well. Split screen, even though there's one guy in the comments who hates it.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. I like the split screen guy in the comments, but you can check us out there. You can see all of the expressions on our face as we're talking about everything that happens in the wrestling world every week. So if you're watching on video, though, go subscribe to the podcast feed as well. It's Wrestling Sheet Radio. There's additional shows in there that aren't on video. There's Top 5 with James and Kevin. There's Best of the Rest with Aaron Turner and Rachel Evans.
Yeah.
So please go on there, subscribe, rate, review, all that good stuff. And check out all the stuff going on in Collider. Tell them all stuff about Collider.
Yeah, there's all stuff going on. You know, it's not just Collider video stuff. You've got as we're doing this here, you've got the wrestling channel, Pro Wrestling Sheet. That everything's involved there. Collider, but there's Collider Sports as well. We just transferred a bunch of the Collider Factory stuff over to Collider Sports. All the sports talk now is on the Collider Sports YouTube page, Collider Sports podcast feed, and we even have a Collider Sports Twitter handle now. It's Collider_sports. Go follow that so you can get the updates on all the content we got dropping. Premier League stuff. We talked NFL, college football, and MMA stuff that happened on Collider Sports Time. Collider MMA Takedown is the one that Dennis and I host with Jay Williams from the Schmodown Rundown. From Afterthoughts. There's so much happening. And then Josh and Makuga and I host Collider Sportsbook, where we break down the lines on all the NFL games and a few college football games to get you ready to bet for the weekend. So
you a gambler?
Yeah, I am a gambler with my life. How about that? I don't gamble with money. I gamble with my life. I take risks in life. So those kinds of things are all happening there. So go subscribe there and be a part of it. And of course, Collider Gaming, all the new games that have come out, Spider-Man, all that stuff's happening soon. FIFA's coming out soon. The WWE 2K. We may even have a special. We should do a special video where we play.
I'm talking to Jamie
Are you
about
really?
it. Yeah, Jamie and I are. Jamie, not Jamie is friendly with a higher up over on 2K. So
nice.
He put the word out there that we'd like to do kind of like a dual thing for both channels. So hopefully we'll make it happen.
I'd love to do a triple threat match with you too. Let's do it.
I'd kill you.
Oh, you're so crazy. I slide right on in after you hit your finisher, hit the finisher on you, and I steal the victory. That's how I roll, son. I'm dirty. Anyway, all right. Thanks, everybody, for watching. Follow me at The Rocha Says. Follow him at Ryan Satin, and we'll talk to you next week on Collider Body Slam SmackDown Live Recap.
ProWrestlingSheet.com